Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to this live stream where we have the one and only Anish Giri with us. Hello, Anish.
Thank you, Sagar.
Anish, you really killed the tempo there.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you, somehow your excitement level was dialed too high. Why? Like,
Because we are streaming
why?
after a long time.
You
It's
are.
been,
I'm not. I'm a
yes.
regular on YouTube,
No, I
so
mean
that's why I'm not
we. I
excited.
said we, like
We
you and
together.
me.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's been many days. So I was
So
looking
I
forward to.
slightly I slightly tuned you down to a little bit different. Like you were like I mean the star was too high. We have to build the stream, sir, gradually.
Yes. Yes. But I thought anyway the Grunfeld will build it up.
For
This
sure.
opening that we have today. Anish, the name of the stream is Basics of Grunfeld Defense. And we are doing this to show the Grunfeld, but also because you made a course recently on this opening. A lot of work
That's a true
went
story.
into it.
Yeah,
Yes.
No, we have a thing that when I do Chessable course, usually I also do a YouTube video with you.
Yes.
So that's a nice one. Yeah, Greenfield course, big project for me because I have opening repertoire on Chessable. So I have E4 in 3 parts, a big work, yeah, complete E4 repertoire. I did a few black repertoires against one E4 with black, so Najdorf, French, and Dragon, and then at some point they're like, okay, you did 3 for E4, but we need at least 1 for D4. And yeah, after some hesitation on what opening to choose, I was decided to do Grunfeld. And yeah, we've done now this done this series, and I'm happy with what it become. I was very worried at first that it was going to be too big, so I was very focused at the start to try and be as concise as possible, because I thought that's it's like when you have such so much amount of work to do, you have to start being concise from the beginning. And yeah, I'm really happy with that, because the people even they say that like they're Chessable customers, who are used to Chessable courses, they're saying like, okay, it cannot be that there's full Grunfeld in just 10 hours of video and whatever, like how many hundreds of trainable lines. They say it cannot be so small. It's not possible. I said, okay, you can see, yeah, you can buy the course, see if you don't. Yeah, you can buy the course. No, but it's true. I managed to not waste people's time there. So in the lines where there is not much to talk about, I just don't talk about much. I say, okay, this is what it is, that's it. And in the lines where I think we should spend time, I spend time. But I try to to always keep an eye on the ball. So I'm proud of that series. I think it's a good series. And we can. The thing about Greenfield though is one thing. I was thinking I could do one day on my channel. I want to do Najdorf in 10 minutes. It's a video I want to do. I can make that video. I
No,
already have a plan.
I mean, that is something which someone who knows everything may not be able to make.
No, I can make Najdorf in 10 minutes. I
Yes?
thought about it. Yeah, just my channel is not ready. I might need my channel to. I want to make that video in the right moment. Now, my channel
No,
is not ready for
you
it
don't
yet.
need to make it in the right moment. That video is timeless. It's evergreen. Even if at the start it has less views, it will reach like 1 million.
Yeah, but I want
For sure.
still. No, I also think so. But okay, to be honest, I didn't have the time either. So but I will do it in the near future, definitely.
But you have to prepare a lot for it than
Yes.
if you had to do it in 1 hour.
Exactly. That's the
Yes.
point. But I think I can do this. I already have a plan in my head. I was thinking about the plan. I can do Najdorf in 10 minutes. I cannot do Grunfeld in 10 minutes. It is not possible. That's the thing about Grunfeld. It is there are multiple systems with white where you need to react accordingly, and it is. I don't think it's possible to do Grunfeld in 10 minutes. So it is in that sense a different opening. It is in some way it is bigger. So that's why we cannot cover everything also in our stream. But I think we'll cover something. We'll talk about what what kind of opening it is, and what to expect from the series. And the good thing about Chessable's courses is that they also have this free versions always. Yeah, the
Short and sweet. Yes, I have pinned it on the comment there, and also the link is in the description.
Thanks, Sagar. That will be very beneficial for my wallet. It will be amazing. No, but it's
it's something that people will get a glimpse into what awaits them.
Yeah, that's why actually these courses, which is very nice. There are people for whom it is targeted. They they'll buy it. They don't need to sell it to them. But people who maybe they are not ready for such a serious course. Maybe they're just too inexperienced, too beginner level, and they just want to see what it's like. So then, yeah, you have these free courses on Chessable, which is really great. There are some good free courses also. Like I think there's a course by Danny Rensch called "Everything You Need to Know About Chess," something like this. It's a free course. I just discovered it also for my son. So there is some good free content on Chessable too. So it's nice that they also, of course, they have a lot of premium content, a lot of it, but they also try and make chess accessible for a larger group of people, which is at least a little bit in line with what you're doing as well. So I think that's great.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And Anish, before we go to the chessboard, how did you like the thumbnail?
It's amazing. It's getting better and better every time. I think I should keep doing courses only to see more such thumbnails, Sagar. It's amazing.
Abhyudaya actually worked very hard on this. He was telling me, I told him in the morning. He sent me like few minutes before the stream, which means like I think he's worked hours on this.
I have. It's amazing. It's a beautiful. It's like from a movie that will receive an Oscar. Just one thing I want to say: this kilometer per hour thing, kilometer per second. So there was the other day I saw some meme. I didn't understand it.
No. It's not kilometer per second. It's just kilometers. So 1d4 is just here.
This, but it reminded me of that meme. So I didn't understand the meme. So I sent it to ChatGPT, explain me the meme. And then it explained me the meme, and then in red letters said that this content violated our policy.
What? Of ChatGPT?
Yes, so I think I still didn't understand the meme, but it's something like so bad that when it explained me the meme, as it was explaining, it realized how bad is the meme, and it just said that it violated the ChatGPT violated policy, not me, But basically, yeah, it's I was afraid that because I have an account there, I was afraid that it will ban me this for this.
But how anyway, is it related to this?
No, it's also kilometer per second. I got reminded. That's why.
Okay.
The meme was about that, but this is amazing. No, this like artwork is incredible. D4, the horse, and yeah. I mean, okay. I don't know why. Like, also, yeah, I'm there. It's just a piece of art.
Of course, you are there. If you were not there, then what was the point of this?
Grunfeld, yeah, I don't know what is I don't know what is the relation to Grunfeld though, and why it's of interest. Like there is no point, but it is amazing.
I'll tell you what is the point. This is 1d4, and what you are is knight f6. Basically, this is then with the knight. That is you are on. Ooh. That was how we wanted to show it. Knight f6.
Ooh. Here. Okay, deep.
Okay,
amazing, but it's beautiful for sure. Yeah.
So okay, let's go and take it from the black side here. You have the black pieces d4, knight f6, c4, g6, and knight c3, d5. This is the Grunfeld starting position.
I'll tell you my personal story of how I got introduced to Grunfeld. So
yes.
Good stuff.
Okay.
It is a true story. I was going to a chess club, yeah, and I had theory lessons. We were playing, but we also had theory lessons. So I had a very good chess education from the start. It was a good chess club with experienced coaches, and I was very, very lucky that I went to that chess club. From that chess club, also Alexander Shimanov, also strong grandmaster, also came from that club. Also Dina Belinka came, from that club as well. So it's an incredible club, and very, very good education. And they taught me the opening basics. E4, you play E5, explain the center, everything, why pieces should be in the center. They explained me everything. They showed me everything. I had a notebook where they wrote me down, my coach, what you play against. This is Italian, this is the Spanish, this. Then at 1d4, you go d5. C4, you go e6, protect the pawn. Don't go knight f6 because CD will ruin it. So everything was written down. Everything was explained to me. And then one day I come to my coach, my second coach already, because I'm a bit more advanced. And there is another student, older student. And he shows some game of his, and he plays d4 and f6, c4, g6, knight c3, d5. And I say to my coach, what is this guy doing? Because he's supposed to be stronger than me, but I'm saying, what's he doing? It's this nonsense.
Yeah, he's giving up the center.
Yeah, I mean, so what is this nonsense? I say I can just take knight d5, e4. My coach says, yeah, but it's called Grunfeld Defense. It's not so stupid. I'm saying, like, it's ridiculous, no? Just e4, what, knight c3, bc. Look, I have e4, d4. He has nothing. So yeah, if you want, you can play with white. So then I sit down. I play this older gentleman. So he goes bishop g7. I think I play knight to f3. He goes pawn to c5. I think I put bishop to c4 probably, just like in the Italian that I was playing. He castle. I think I castle. Then he goes bishop g4. I start to feel already that something is off. Something is off. I can't keep it together. So I go some like maybe e5. He goes then knight c6. It's all falling apart. So if I have 3 more moves, I collapse. Everything center is all gone. It's falling apart. D4 pawn is falling apart. F3 is hanging. And I'm totally shocked. I told my coach, what happened? He said, yeah, it's not so simple. I said, yeah, it's amazing. It's not so easy. Then my coach told me, by the way, after that, he said that, okay, you can play bishop on c4, but you should go bishop c4 first. And then after c5, put a knight on e2. And if bishop g4 comes, you have f3. So then, okay, then this is, a starting point. But at least this was how I got introduced to the opening. I found very remarkable that this, this concept of giving up the center, it can work so efficiently. And, it enriched my understanding at the time because I was just beginner,
So what essentially you are saying is Grunfeld is all about letting white build this center and then hacking away with it with c5 and putting pressure on the d4 pawn, right?
Exactly. It's like, you are fighting, for example, for a small, let's say, Sagar, you are from ChessBase, and let's say they're Chessable, and you're both fighting for a small office space from which you stream. So you can fight for that space, or you can tell Chessable, okay, take the Chessable, the space. So they enter to your streaming office, and then you take like eggs and you start throwing it into them, into that office, and nice. They're inside the office, and you keep throwing eggs at them. And by the end, Chessable is collapsing, and ChessBase India is going through the roof. So this kind of situation. You can fight for the office, or you can let them have it and then throw the eggs at them. This is the kind of analogy I would use here.
So essentially, you let them come in and then just strike.
Yeah, and then you make them regret that they've come. Yeah, because it's better not to come sometimes than to come and then be kicked away. So yeah.
Right. So this one, I understand that this is the starting position of the Grunfeld, right?
Not of the course though. The starting position of the course is 1d4. So everything from that is covered.
Oh.
And in fact, I will tell you the structure of the course. I think it's good to talk about that. I divided it for myself into 4 parts. So part 1 is d4 knight f6, c4 g6, knight c3 d5. Not like parts, like 4 different types of lines. Yeah, d5. And let's say take on d5, knight d5, e4, knight c3, bc, bishop g7, and for example, line like bishop c4, c5, knight e2, knight c6, bishop e3, and you have this very, very complex, rich and typical Grunfeld position. Yeah, you are putting pressure on the center, and it goes, very complex.
When I started playing chess, this was the main line, like around 2000,
it remains
2002, 2003.
Yes,
everyone was just playing this.
Yes, and it remains very large line. And it was a main line in the 80s as well. Yeah, Kasparov matches. And okay, basically that's end of 80s, 90s already. Kasparov Sevilla match, it was also this line. So it remains one of the main lines through the years. And it's one of those many Grunfeld lines, the typical Grunfeld lines which are rich. Here, by the way, I want to show you a fun fact while we are at it. So my recommendation is to go castle, but I also I call it a trickster bonus. So extra chapter
Bishop
that I recorded
G4.
in the end. No, it's CD4 check.
CD4, CD.
CD4, queen A5.
Okay.
Bishop D2, queen A3. Yes, and now there is pressure on D4 pawn. And one way to deal with it is to play rook B1. Now I think you cannot take on D4, so you have to castle. You cannot take on D4, you have to castle.
Because of take bishop, no.
Yeah, I think it's some...
bishop b5 check
B5,
maybe.
Bishop b5, yeah.
Correct.
Bishop,
take and bishop b5.
Yeah, there's bishop
okay.
b5, bishop h6 and so on, yeah. Now you have to castle, of course, you have to finish castling at some point. And now it looks very strong for white to play d5. Knight e5 and bishop b4. And queen is trapped.
Wait. I know there is some trick here. Oh, yes. Let's ask the chat. Let's ask the chat. I know this. I read it in some book. It's a
It
pick
was on
move.
it was on my last stream, sir. I know now you're not watching my streams.
Actually, now you're streaming so much,
True, it's hard to keep up, huh?
it's
But
become
you
the
know, when you were
opposite.
streaming too much, I was always there, sir.
No. You are not there.
No, of course I was not. I have a life, sir. I cannot watch all your streams. It's 24. You are streaming more than their hours a day back in the days. No, but it's true. Yeah, I'm streaming too much. I agree. You found the trick, chat?
Chat is unable to find it, it seems.
Oh, it's amazing. It's a very difficult, spectacular trick. It's just a double attack.
Oh,
How do you attack?
nice.
How do you
Oh my
attack
god. Lot of
G2
people.
and E4 pawns. G2 and E4 pawns in one go.
Dipankar, Botikovi, Rahul, Yashasvi. Well done, guys. Queen F3. Wow.
Yeah. Spectacular.
And so take knight F3 here, and bishop H3 is mate.
Yeah, spectacular mate. Spectacular checkmate. After queen f3, already too late for white. You're losing a pawn. E4 and g2 pawns are hanging. So this is a little trap that it's not actually, it's not even a chapter. It's just like a trickster bonus, I call it. It's an extra option that I discovered after I already finished my course. I recommended the mainstream things with castle instead of that. But okay, so there is this line, and there are many other such Grunfeld lines. Now there's the second part of the course, which is the least interesting, but very necessary. And what I do with it is like removing a band-aid. I do it quick and painless. E4, knight c3, bc, bishop g7.
E4, knight c3.
Knight f3, c5. And now there are multiple lines. There's bishop b5 check and rook b1 as well. And some others where, for example, let's go rook b1. Castle, bishop e2, cd, queen a5, bishop d2, queen a2. Black needs to basically. Okay, can you go a few moves back? I should explain what's happening before we do that. So why white plays rook b1? The reason white plays rook b1 is that they want that after bishop e2, if we play knight to c6, which is the most normal way of putting pressure on d4 pawn, they can play now d5. Bishop c3, bishop d2, and the rook on a1 is not hanging.
And this is very good. Even if you are pawn down here as white.
No, you're crashing with the h4 coming. There's no defender on the king. h4, queen h6. You see, there's no defender on the king. So this is one idea. And the second idea is you cannot play bishop g4 instead of knight c6. You can, but the disadvantage of playing bishop g4 is that b7 pawn is now hanging, right? So the most standard ways of putting pressure on the center, knight c6 and bishop g4, have both been discouraged. That's why you play rook b1. So here, since both of these moves have been addressed, bishop g4 and knight c6, black has to find the weakness of the rook on b1, and the weakness is the a2 pawn is hanging. So that's why we go cd, queen a5, bishop d2, queen a2. So these are the best moves for black.
And this line is very theoretical, right?
Castle, yeah, it's a crazy trick. Castle, bishop g4. For example, what can happen is, let's say, rook b7, bishop f3, bishop f3, bishop d4. Okay, let's say some bishop g5, I think is one move.
There was one line in the pandemic which was always ending in a draw, right?
Yes, I think that's e5. I think that's e5 instead. E5 instead of bishop g5. It's even more direct, yes. e5, knight a6.
Yeah.
Rook e7. Rook a d8.
Yes. The knight would go from c5 to d3, something like that. I don't. Maybe it was not this rook b1 line.
No, it's this. Yes, I'm just trying to recall it. No, I think e6. Yeah, e6 fe, queen e1, knight c5.
Yes.
Bishop e3, knight d3. Bishop d4, knight e1. Yeah, this is how a few games of Wesley against Bashila finished.
Right.
Rook d7. Yeah. And there are a few such lines where it's very forcing, and white sort of just forces mass trades. Everything gets traded. And this is the second part of the course. And this is one thing that Grunfeld has. Since it is so direct, white can choose to play a certain way that black has to respond in such a direct fashion. Like basically, you start throwing the eggs and you destroy that room completely, and the whole office is gone. For Chessable and for ChessBase, the whole office is gone. You've destroyed everything. There's nothing left on you. Armageddon happens. Nuclear explosion happens.
It's like at that point, they both are so equally, like they've gotten in, and there are so many equal eggs that you have to agree to a draw, right?
Yeah, there's too many. Yeah, it's just basically like a nuclear explosion happening. There are some lines, especially in this Knight f3 system, like that.
And you would have wanted to avoid them because you want to give a fighting repertoire, but some you cannot.
No, you can. No, the thing is, you will have to betray because the nature of the opening is that you give the center. You have to fight back. You understand? Like, it's like if, let's say, you have two countries threatening nuclear weapon, and one drops on you nuclear weapon. You have to drop it on them too. There is no other way.
I hope that all of this happens before the dropping of nuclear weapon, because once the nuclear weapon is dropped, it's all over. Yes.
No, but that's why I'm telling you, like we've too deep in that. Like we have given them the center, we have to fight back.
True.
And sometimes that fight is very few lines, but you cannot avoid that. This is part of that. They exist, but there are a few of them, and they never happen at the lower level or something. It only happens when both white never wants to make draw. It only happens in Champions Chess Tour when they already qualified. They had to make draw in the last round.
True.
So that's why that doesn't really happen. So the third part, and this is the most fun ones. Most fun part of the course is there are some lines where white doesn't play 2 knights c3, 3 knights c3. Sorry. White goes move like f3. Point is that now if d5, they take e4, and there is no knight on c3 to take. So you have to move away. And you waste time, and white keeps the center.
Yes.
So so there is this move f3, and there's also move h4.
Do you recommend d5 to f3 or c5?
No. There's also h4 instead of f3. And there's also knight f3 instead of f3. Knight f3, bishop g7, e3. So as you know, there's always thought through recommendation, in the course. So there's no chaos. It's always order. So against all of these systems, I recommend to play the Benoni, all of them. And this is one of the most fun parts. So let's say h4 or f3. Let's say h4, c5, d5, d6, knight c3, e6, e4, ed, bishop g7. Yeah, this is the bishop e2. Now it should not be the same first, but I recommend. But whatever. Yeah, by the way, there's such a beautiful line here. Okay, let me show it. Knight b7. It's one amazing line here happening. Let me find it in the course to be sure.
Knight f3.
I think I can do it by. I think I can do it by memory, but just to be sure, let me find it in the course, not to make any. Not to waste anybody's time.
With this?
No. This line that I'm about to show is the
where he plays knight to d4, right?
No. That's not the one. So knight f3, knight f3, knight g4.
Okay.
Let me get you back on the screen. Yeah, you have the position. Yeah, knight g4, h5. This line. Castle. Knight g5. They're trying to attack us. But okay, rook e8. The king is in the center as well. Yeah. King of hg, king f1. So h file is open, but we have bishop on g7 to protect. Knight df6. We protect everything. Yeah, we have the strong knights, everything defended. So king g1. White needs to safeguard the king also. And now, nice idea, a6. We prepared this b5 gambit. They go a4. And now we go b6. And suddenly it turns out we prepare also rook a7 to e7 maneuver. Very beautiful. So rook h4. So it seems white attacks g4. White seems to attack g4, right? Too many attacks. But we go rook a7.
Oh.
And now they can take everything on g4. And it looks like white is winning there. So take everything on g4. Queen g4. It looks like white's won. Checking h2. There doesn't seem to be something. But there is.
Bishop
No, we go f5 first.
Instead of check.
No, after rook e1 check. Check you do f5 first.
Right.
Now you can already see that rook on a7, it has a bright future ahead. You see, yeah? You see, yeah? You see, you already envision it. Queen g3. White has to protect the knight on g5.
Bishop e5.
No, then f4. It's okay. It's okay. No, you have to start with f4.
Oh, f4.
Yeah, f4. Yeah.
Wow.
F4,
oh my
yeah.
god.
Yeah, go f4. If you take with queen, is bishop e5,
Yes.
right? Skewer.
Yes.
If you take with bishop, is rook a1, right? The rook on a1 hangs.
Okay.
You know, there's some computers that are missing this. Computers missing this. Queen g4. It's what computers. Some computers are missing. Not Stockfish, but some other engines.
Bishop c3.
bc3.
Queen g5.
Queen g5. Amazing mating suddenly. Queen g5, rook h7. Suddenly it's checkmate.
What a game! What a game!
Yeah, this can be your game if you buy the course. Or even it's in pre-course. Don't even have to buy it. It's crazy.
Wow, this is such an insane finale. Like, look at the position with two rooks and a pawn.
Amazing. There is no, nobody has been useless in this position. Everything is, it's minimalistic.
Yeah.
Everything's put to excellent use. There is a minimal protection of our own king, pawn on g6. Minimal attackers, one rook on a1, one rook on h7. There's pawn on f4, and that's all you need. Nothing else you need.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, this is beautiful. So this is the third part of the course, the Benonis.
Is it possible to just buy that part of the course?
No, but you need the whole package, yeah? So basically there is the epic Grunfelds, the self-destructing Grunfelds, there is the Benonis, and there is the final part, and that is if white does not play c4. So d4 knight f6, and a lot of games, especially at the lower levels, or in fast time controls, rapid and blitz, don't reach Grunfeld. They go bishop London, Cole, knight f3, g3, knight f3, b3, Trompovsky, all kinds of things. And this is the fourth part of the course, and it's a very important part, and it's a very big part as well.
I want to just know in fourth part, what do you recommend for London?
So when I can, of course, like London, I go g6 because this is in the spirit of the Grunfeld.
You can.
Yeah, here you can. But against the Trompovsky, impossible to play Grunfeld. So against Trompovsky,
this also is playable move.
No, but there's no point. They just take on f6 and then pawn on g6 is stupid. There's no point. So I just go against Trompovsky. I just go d5, c5, in the center. Here, okay, they have committed to bishop g5,
I knew that when you played this game with Prague, you knew the line, but it was just that you forgot. You knew.
Yeah, crazy. It was, by the way, in the course, that line.
Because you played so many moves which were.
No, but the thing is, I worked on the course before the tournament.
Yes.
So it was 2 weeks before, and I've made that line. But the thing is that the reason I forgot is, one thing is that you make a line like you are looking at it from a point of view that you have to play it. And another little bit different is when you make a course. Like you sort of look at you make the line, but you sort of don't think you will have to play it yourself, kind of. And then I suddenly realized during the game that, okay, I saw it recently, but like how exactly did it go? And the thing is, I would have recollected, but maybe if I spent like 10-15 minutes. But in a rapid game, you have only 25 minutes in general. And if you spend 10 minutes and you don't remember, you already gave up half the time. So at some point, I just decided, okay, I'll just play. And then I decided I'll just play. And then after that, I thought, maybe it was still the line. And then finally, I confused everything with each other. And we can briefly see that line, by the way, just for fun.
You actually played some moves which if someone was not prepared, could never have played.
Yes, knight d2 here he played. c5, dc e6, e4, bishop c5, e5, queen b6. Suddenly f2 is hit. ef, bishop f2, king e2, and now of course you want to take on g1. But I played this. I'll forget now again the line, by the way. Just let's see for fun if I can remember again. e5, I think I played, right?
Yes.
fg, rook g8, right? This is the line. Knight d to f3 to give some space for the king. Rook g7. Queen to d2 to protect from rook g5, queen e3. Knight c6, I think, is the move. This I still managed to remember.
Yes.
And then he went a4. Yeah, and now the next move, it's actually a strange move. Because it's so tempting to go e4 always. So e4 is very tempting. to regain the piece directly. And I was looking at the position and I was like, I couldn't remember how the line goes at all. Suddenly I just was blank. And I thought, okay, I could try to remember, but maybe I'll not. So I thought, okay, e4, it's just, so I was calculating e4, queen d5. I think I calculated queen d5. I thought maybe ef, knight f3, bishop e6, I guess I thought. Also, I thought maybe what about, yeah, queen b2 maybe as well. Bishop e6, yeah, queen b5 maybe, yeah. Yeah, maybe queen b5. Yeah, I was thinking something along these lines. Maybe knight d. Yeah, maybe yeah. No, I can't play knight d4, so I have to take on. Yeah, maybe it's not bishop e6. I was maybe no, not bishop e6. Maybe I have this move f6. I think maybe I saw also some move. Yeah, I was thinking about all this. Interesting. Queen e3 after bishop f6, rook e7 coming. So I was thinking about all this, and after e4 he played instantly rook a3. And then I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. There is some line where I go bishop g1. Bishop g1, knight g1, knight d4, something like this.
Yes.
So then I went e4, rook a3, bishop g1. It's what I did.
Yes.
And then he went bishop g1, knight d4.
And then his king escaped.
King d1, queen b2. And then I was expecting some kind of queen c1, I think. But then I have bishop g4, knight e2, queen takes c1, bishop takes c1. And I can even take everything on e2 and go rook g2. Yeah, I was thinking about this actually. I thought, okay, this cannot be so bad. Rook g2 even. I already have 3 pawns. King d1, rook c8. Looks fine. I thought, okay, this maybe was the line somehow. I don't know. I thought, okay, maybe this is the line. And then he went just after queen b2, he went rook to g3. Completely forgot. I completely didn't see that move. Another quiet move instead of queen c1. Just the rook g3.
This was amazing.
And then I realized, no, this is not the line. And then I started looking at my position. Okay, it looks already like half lost. And then I lost very fast. Couldn't make it work. Dark squares are very weak also. And just piece down too. I mean, he's blocking me on dark squares fully, so I have to do something, and there's nothing. My king is also weak. So turns out the line was bishop takes g1 directly, which is so strange. Instead of e4. Such a strange move. And I didn't somehow remember that I make such strange move. And not rook g1, which is, of course, I expected rook g1. But apparently rook g1 is bishop g4 and is bad for white. And I even wrote it in the course, but I forgot afterwards. Apparently this is bad for white. So he should go knight g1. And then comes the whole line knight d4, king d1, bishop g4. And now the point is that he cannot go rook king c1 because of rook c8. And there is no rook to c3. That's the difference. His rook on a1 is not defending, so he cannot go rook c3. So then instead of king c1, he has to go knight to e2. And then when he told me the line, I was like, oh, yes. And now, of course, I just take everything on e2 and I go f6. This was the line. It was so simple. So yeah, king e2 and just f6. No, queen e2 is rook g5.
Sorry.
You need to take with the king. And then simply f6. And the bishop just cannot move because g2 is hanging. So I can queen d5, rook g5. And this is actually black is almost better in this position. You regain material. You are a very nice center with a pawn e5. Good endgame. Black is almost better here.
Amazing.
This was the line. Yeah, and I knew the whole, had the whole line. And when he told me that this is one of the lines, I was like, yeah, this was the one I wanted, of course. So it was this, but during the game, bishop g1 didn't even occur to me. Like, it made no sense to me, bishop g1. It looks so strange. Bishop is so nice on f2. And I was thinking that e4, it looks so tempting. Like, I thought, okay, it must be e4. I don't know. What else? But it was not the move.
Rook a3 is easy to...
In fact, you can play e4. Then after rook a3, already play ef3. Just don't try to then I got confused after that. That's typical when you're confusing memory with your common sense and it's all intertwined and you go nuts. But yeah, if you have my course, you have to rehearse it. Yeah, don't forget it.
In this entire course, are there many lines where you have to memorize it in Grunfeld?
In Grunfeld, there are some lines, yes. The thing is that it's very hard to tell which lines are difficult to memorize, which not. Because just saying only moves is not always a problem. If it's an only move, it doesn't mean it's difficult. Very often, it makes it easy. It's obvious that there is the most tempting move by far is the best move.
Correct.
In Grunfeld, very often, you just ask yourself the question, what is the most straightforward and dynamic move that I can make here? What is the most aggressive move that I can make here? And this will be the best one. This is also the case in neither. Very often you should ask yourself, like, which is the most, and very often I see that the computer then also agrees, just the most brutal move. Like, Doesn't matter, you sacrifice a piece or even a pawn or even a piece. Just which move is the most in the flow. And in the opening as dynamic as Grunfeld and Najdorf, surprisingly often the move in the flow is the best one. So there are many lines where you have to make only moves, for sure. How many of them are difficult to remember? Hard to tell. Really not all. Really not all. And some lines you also have, of course, options. And what you often have, position is complex. You have only moves, but if you make the wrong one, opponent has only one way to punish you also, yeah? He can also make mistake. So the question is, let's say when you have positions with only moves and they're hard, okay, what if you do make mistake? How easy it is for the opponent to punish it? Because we are not playing against computers. So it's a very, very difficult question, Sagar, and it goes deep to the nature of top level preparation and top chess. Asking a question, how difficult it is to remember something and how difficult it is to play some opening, that is a question that top players battle with, and it's a very difficult question to answer. But it is hard for me to say if Grunfeld is an opening that is easy to play or not easy to play, easy to remember or not. Certainly very forcing and very dynamic. But yeah, it's just hard to say. You know, sometimes you can also play something very, very simple, some simple solid setup, where you just build the center, pawn d5, pawn e6, and you just build your solid setup, and then you suffer there for 80 moves and you lose the endgame. And okay, then maybe it was better to right away try to, you know, so it's all relative. There's no no correct approach, but Grunfeld is more dynamic one for sure. Yeah, and a lot of lines are, yeah, just let me show you one before we finish. One typical Grunfeld line, yeah. I'll show you just one typical Grunfeld line because it's good to see because we haven't seen yet.
Can I also get like 2-3 minutes to ask you questions on my doubts of Grunfeld?
Okay. Just will absolutely. It's a great question.
Thank you, Joy
Yeah, one
Datta.
nice line.
Yeah,
one
okay.
nice line. 4 knight f3 Grunfeld. Bishop g7. Queen b3.
Yes.
DC
Oh,
queen
this
c4.
I was going to ask. The Russian system.
Yeah. DC queen c4. Bishop e6.
Bishop e6.
Oh yes.
Oh, castle is the main move, right?
Yeah, bishop e6 is a little my little friend.
Nuance, huh?
Say hello to my little friend. Yes, okay. It's huge. This is huge. Queen b5, bishop d7, queen b7. This is the main line. Knight c6. Now in this particular line, we will look at what dangers await white. Yeah, so we will not make the best moves from here. Best moves will be leading to position that is okay for white, that is around balance. But what if white plays naive? So let's say e4. What can be more natural? Rook b8. Queen a6 castle. Now they realize, okay, if they just play bishop f1 somewhere, the knight b4 comes, and knight c2, yeah? So what if you go back, queen d3, move 11? It happened in an old correspondent game. Before computers were good, they were greedy. So they were going like this with white. Okay, now knight b4, queen d1. Okay, so, you know, difficult to memorize or not, yeah? Like, what move would Grunfeld player play? Of course, c5.
No, c5 first.
Yeah, c5 first, yeah. c5, d5.
Queen
and now
a5.
Bishop, queen. Oh. Yeah, this is a little tricky. You have different ways, but best is bishop g4. Queen a5 also good, I think. Bishop. The game happened bishop f4. Another mistake, but it was before computers were good. So corresponding game of like 2009. Bishop f4. Attacks rook on b8. But yeah, now of course another Grunfeld move, as you said, queen a5. Sacrifice everything. Queen a5. And you have to make that arrow. I make this arrow very often. Queen a5 to e1. Sagar. This is one. And bishop g7 to a1. This is another. This crisscross there on the c3 square is so typical. And make arrow knight to e4 also.
Yes, this is.
And make knight on c3 red, please. And king on e1 red also. Yeah, this is a beautiful. This is how I like it usually.
Nice.
Bishop b8.
Knight e4.
We follow the corresponding game. Knight e4, of course. Knight e4, knight e4, knight c2.
Oh,
king e2.
This is going to be
knight d4. King e3. And you know, the old game, they had weak engine 2009, yeah? So he went rook b8 here. But then one played queen d4, white managed somehow to, like, somehow to survive. Instead of rook b8, he could go knight f5 check. And computers earlier weren't able to do this sometimes. King f4, not just h5. You don't need to give check. And the king will just be mated. Modern computer says it's like complete mate. It just says minus plus, like -10. But old computers, of course, they see white is up what piece and the rook. So it needed to see mate, like on the board. The modern computer knows that okay, it is mate. Just wait a bit, yeah. Wait one move. It will be mate. So this is this for example is what you hope for, yeah. Yeah, that's what you hope for in the Grunfeld.
Okay, so you answered one of my questions, like what to do for queen b3. So this is
Okay.
take bishop e6.
Okay.
Okay, here's another question. After knight c3 d5, cd knight d5 bishop d2. What does black do usually here? This is a very
Yes, actually here is we didn't have the time for it, but actually I think we have this game covered on your channel, Sagar. I think we looked at it after my Tolstoy Memorial tournament that I won. I don't know if you remember. I won
the
this
Nadir
rapid
Beg
tournament
game. Yes, we saw
where I
all the
went
games.
to I went to top 10 of world rapid rating list at that time. And
It was your epic. You started with 7 out of 7, right?
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I made a draw, one draw or two, but I scored like something like 8 out of 9 or something crazy. I scored, or even more. Like I scored something crazy and won the tournament like with rounds to spare. It was amazing. And then in that game, I showed my recommendation. I played c5, pawn sack c5.
C5.
DC and then bishop g7. I don't let white to, because what they often let is if they go bishop g7 first, they allow e4, knight c3, bishop c3,
Yes.
and then c5 they go d5, and then your bishops get neutralized, and you have nothing, no fun anymore. It's okay, but it's no fun. So I go c5 first. This is the cool thing.
Okay, got it. So here c5, and then it leads to interesting positions. D5, take, e4, take, bishop g7, knight f3, c5, and here there are many different moves. But which is, according to you, the most challenging move for black?
Well, so the only almost the only fun move here. So this rook b1, bishop b2, bishop b5. It's all there. All this second chunk of the course, yeah, which are there very forcing. The most challenging and the most fun move here is bishop e3.
Yes.
It's of course the most
with
challenging
queen
line.
d2, the idea.
Yeah, and then I recommend here bishop to g4.
Not queen a5.
No, this is the modern way. Bishop g4.
And rook. And bishop g4 is your suggestion. Okay.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. Got it. And 1 second. What if someone plays g3?
Yes, if they play g3, I recommend. Yes, no, against g3, because Benoni we don't get. After c5, they go dc5. So here I recommend to go c6, d5. Oh. This is a very big part of the course as well.
This is so solid.
That's the thing. I've had this a lot with both colors. You'll be surprised. It creates some sort of an often false sense of security for white, They feel not threatened. But black is so comfortable in these positions very often that because they feel not threatened, they overpress. And I had many games here with both colors when it was completely going out of control. And it can, the balance can be disturbed very fast. For example, knight f3, bishop g7, castle. Now one of the main moves is Carlsen's move to sacrifice the pawn with knight c3. dc4 and e4. And this goes very, very crazy, very fast, yeah? So it doesn't mean that this is always symmetrical. And if they go cd, by the way, instead of knight c3, just so you know, it's not going to be boring for long, because cd, knight e5, I recommend just to go knight c6. And if knight c3, let's say bishop f5, knight c6, bc, already we have an imbalanced structure. Very often, for example, let's play just for argument's sake bishop f4. For example, okay, I think my main move is knight h5, but you can also play like knight d7, for example. And already you go e5, you create a very imbalanced pawn structure, and then you go h5, h4 sometimes. And it's not at all dull symmetry as it is at first. So this line is very, very complex, very interesting for both sides. It has this reputation that is drawish, but from my experience, I've made many draws in my career. I know I'm an expert on this topic. This is not the most dull line that exists in chess, not at all.
Very interesting, Anish. I think overall, this is something which has so many lines that are there, so many sidelines also, right? If someone, as you said,
that's why I told you I cannot do it in 10 minutes, because I cannot not show bishop f4 or bishop g5
Yes,
or
yes, yes,
bishop
yes,
e3
yes.
or bishop.
Yes.
I cannot not show because they're completely like. I mean, they're similar. You go c5 somewhere, you fight for the center somewhere. But why do I choose bishop f4 and not bishop g5 in these 10 minutes? Like that's
here,
why
here
Grunfeld.
they can go bishop f4, bishop
Yes,
g5.
or bishop, yeah,
they can
they are
also
different.
start with bishop f4 here.
Yes, they can also go knight f3, bishop g7, and h4.
Right.
Very critical. I cannot also not show that line because or queen b3 line is there, as you said. The bishop c4 line is there. Bishop e3 line is there. Bishop d2 line is there that you showed. Line without knight f3 is there. I think even if I do my best Eminem impression, I'm not in time to finish it in 10 minutes. It is quite
even
big because
such lines are there. You know, like
yeah, it's
this.
this
Is actually
huge.
quite
Yes.
interesting line. No,
It's
something like this.
I have two recommendations against this because it's so big. I got knight c3 and knight b6. Both are covered in the course.
So you think
I
this
give
is
this
important?
line. I give this line respect. Yes. Because in neither, let's just show it 1 minute. In neither, let's show the neither 1 minute. After d4 cd knight d4, there is like 80% of neither is one development scheme. Let's say bishop e2, e5, knight b3, bishop e7, castle. Like 80% of neither is that you go bishop e7, bishop e6, knight d7, castle, rook c8, and b5. Yeah, and like 80% of neither is that. You know, and you can say there are 20 moves on move 6, but of them 15 are the same, kind of. You know, Grunfeld is not exactly like that. So neither of it has this. It is not as diverse as it seems. It can be diverse if you want, but it can also be broken down into just 3.5 plans for black. It can be made very simple. Grunfeld is in that sense harder because it's simply wider, surprisingly. It's sort of like wider in a sense that not just the amount of options white has, because Grunfeld Knight also has many options, but the methods with which black is addressing the issues in Grunfeld is much richer. So Grunfeld is basically harder to cover in 10 minutes. But luckily my course is like 10 hours, not 10 minutes. So it's all good.
Yeah. I think for people who are here, maybe a good idea is to begin with this short and sweet course, which is there in the description, the link. And then all those who are anyway want to learn the Grunfeld can go for the second link, which is the full course, and you can get it from there. And then, have a very strong weapon against 1d4. So if you already have,
yeah, no, but Sagar, you don't have to worry. Like we just tell them that the course is there. I was playing Qatar Masters, Sagar, and I was walking around there. These guys, they'll get my course. You don't have to worry. I'm walking around Qatar Masters.
2500 GMs.
Not 25. Not only. It is what I see in the database. It is like especially between 2100 and 2500. Okay, also above. It actually usually doesn't. It ends with like 2650. Above, they are too prideful to play sometimes. But between 2100 and 2650, some kind of 2270, 2380, 2450, 2510, like the number of people that are up and coming, they don't have to be young. Some of them are young, some of them are older. Many of them are those who are ambitious, but a bit older. So they have different ambitions. They want to become titled or they want to become grandmasters, They don't want to become a world champion, but they are ambitious, but they are a little older. But of course, also a lot of kids as well. And not all kids can afford, but many coaches they okay. I don't know if it should be encouraged because I don't know if it's allowed officially or so on. But you have, of course, for sure, a coach who buys a course and shows it to all his students. I imagine that happens. I don't know if it's piracy or not, but like, of course, it's gonna happen that you have a coach who is going to show it to his whole academy, or his students.
Right.
And that's fine.
Actually, the number of Grunfelds might grow in the next few months overall.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I see often in database, just there's like, I sometimes I want to look up what I recommend in my course, but it's easier for me to go through the database. I can just see by the number of moves, which move I recommend, I can just see that, okay, this move was played the most from that year. It means that was probably my course recommendation, You can just sort of see yeah, because the people, they who are ambitious about their opening repertoire and they're facing well-prepared opponents, they are getting the full course because they want to be ready for everything. They don't just want to play and just have some idea, but they are like serious improvers. They work on their opening, and there are many ambitious players out there. Some are young and will become future grandmasters, future top players, and some are just less young but going to become grandmasters or international masters. And for them, it's of course huge because you can see nowadays with the engine everything for sure. But in the course, of course, not only do I select, sometimes there are like few moves, yeah, that engine likes. I select for them, but I also explain them, which was the point of the move. And it remembers better this way, and it's much less likely you mix up, because if you remember now once, yeah, in what kind of situation you play bishop g4, in what kind of situation you play c5, if you understand it once, it's more likely that you remember and play it in the right moment. So these things are very helpful. And yeah, again, of course, you have the free course but those who who should get the main course, they'll get it.
Yeah, yeah. We'll keep an eye on this, Anish. Maybe at some point when you will go to Bucharest now to play in the
So I was thinking, Sagar, do you think that they will think, because I did the Greenfield course, that I'll play it, or do you think they will think because I did the Greenfield course and they know I will not play it, or do they think that because I know that they know that I did the Greenfield course and they will think that I will not play, but that's why I will play, or will they think that because I made the Greenfield course and I know that I made the Greenfield, they know that I made the Greenfield course, and that they know that I know that I played the Greenfield course, but I will not play it because they know that I played. And then they'll think that I'll actually play it, but then they will know that I think like this, so then I'll actually not play it. So what do you think they'll expect?
I think what they might do is get your course and before the round with you, and maybe get one of their team members to go through it and tell them at which point is something that they find. I think this is what all the top players will do. No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hopefully. It's funny because
so then you're 10. So you should play so many tournaments right now because every opponent will buy that course.
Yes. That's why I'm going to start playing now. I play Grand Chess Tour 2 tournaments in a row. What do you think? It's all business. It was very funny, and I am happy that I managed to stop it. I played Vaikanze tournament, and 2 days before I play Carlsen, 2 days before, I played him with black. I could see my sales, and I could see the username that bought the course, and I see that my Neidorf course was bought by a user called Fresene.
Oh.
2 days before I have to play Carlsen. 2 days. Yeah? They prepare for me 1 day in advance. And that's what I wrote to the Chessable CEO. I wrote him, it's just not nice. I mean, I don't need to see this. It's not fair that I get to see who buys my course. They didn't know that I can see it. And since then, they've made it. Привет, Майкл. Что, Майкл, там? Велосипед там у тебя, Майкл. Да, там велосипед. Да. Yes. Да, там велосипед. Yeah, so then I told him that it's not for privacy of users, you should not show authors who bought the course. So just show that somebody bought and don't show the username. It's like, yeah, it's a good idea. So but yeah, they are buying. I myself am buying. When I play someone who did course, of course I'm buying, because it's the game so much at stake. $20, $30, whatever is the course, is not worth it. So I always buy. And yeah, I discovered this way that some courses are great. For example, Gawain Jones' course, before I played him in Champions Tour, I bought his courses. I went through it. It's a surprisingly good course. Like at first, you think some lines that look very dubious. Computer says they're not good. And then I was preparing very deep. And yeah, the deeper I went, the more I thought, okay, wow. Either Gawain spent a lot of time on it, or he has an incredible feel for positions that are not so clear. And he was just intuitively making the call that my deep computers would then confirm. Or it was both, that he had that feeling and then he would confirm it with deep computers too. But in any case, yeah, and sometimes you discover that in some other, I'm not going to mention names, but there are rare cases of authors where I see that, okay, I mean, I'm going through his course and I think like, okay, what, like maybe they outsourced it to someone, maybe somebody else did it for them, but like sometimes you see that, okay, there was no work put in it at all. Like it's just and you see that, okay, he's not even going to play those lines because they are not making no sense. The computer top choices are not mentioned anywhere. The choices are weird. It's probably some old engine, probably some 5-year-old analysis that he's repackaging and so on. That happens rarely too, but nowadays, yeah, many courses are very interesting. And before I play someone, I buy always, of course. Yeah, why not? And it's, by the way, messing with your head because you don't know then, because they also know that you know. So it's messing with your head. You're not sure. Are they gonna play those lines? Are they not gonna play it? Because but even if they're not gonna play it, you have to still look, right? Because it's what they're supposed to recommend. So it's only messing with your head and
I'm
not
actually
helpful at
very
all.
interested to now see Bucharest, which will start in what, 5 days from now, 6 days.
Yeah, I'm flying on Monday, so it should be soon.
Yeah, and whenever anyone plays d4 against you, they will expect the Grunfeld, but then you can play something else. You can also play the Grunfeld,
No,
so
I think
it'll
they
be
will.
fun. It'll be fun.
I think they will not expect the Grunfeld actually.
Well,
So
but
maybe that's why I will play it.
yes, and you can play, you cannot play. And
Yeah, or not.
Gukesh is there, Gukesh versus your game. And if Gukesh plays d4, perhaps he gets white, and then you play the Grunfeld, and oh no, this is dream, yeah, like.
Yeah, but Gayevsky's course is e4. He has e4 course. So some clash maybe in Rook G1 Neither. Our courses clash in Rook G1 Neither. Interesting.
But yeah, Anish, we are all very excited to see you in action. I think you're not many classical events you played this year, like
No.
just after
He
Vaikan
also,
say this
yeah,
is
no,
the...
I played one. No, that's the problem. Unfortunately, I played one. If I only after Vakanze, it would be all good. But I lost 3 games, yeah, in this China.
Yeah, China.
Yeah. So that's where I lost all my rating. So I didn't play classical since then. And yeah, I will. I was thinking I'll play much less classical this year. But I got invited to Grand Chess Tour, which is very nice. And yeah, when I get invited to some good tournaments, I'm still ready to try classical. Although of course classical has changed a lot these years, but it's still it's a different kind of challenge nowadays than before. And young players are playing very interesting chess.
Yeah, like Arjun, yeah, like and I liked what you said. Please don't talk about gaining rating. That results don't matter after you gain rating. Please say it before.
Yeah, how do you? Yeah. I mean, somehow it's always afterwards. Yeah, always you win everything and then you don't care. I mean, please warn me. Who doesn't care next?
But you said it before, so you're already different.
But I'm I'm trying. I'm doing experiment. Fair. I'm doing fair, guys. I announce. Look, I don't care about my results, and the fact that my results have been bad in China doesn't bother me the slightest.
Yeah.
I'm going to play with an open mind and play my next game completely undisturbed, just like Arjun. Now let's see if it will work. I will not cheat, and I'll say afterwards, oh yeah. No, I slept badly, I slept well. No, I'm telling you, I've reached complete zen right now. My sales of Grunfeld course are through the roof. I don't care about chess at all. There's no pressure on me. I'm just there for the joy and love of the game. I might play Grunfeld, I might play King's Indian, I might play something else. Doesn't even matter what. I'm completely free of any bothers and worries. And I'm just ready to enjoy the game that I love. And I'm going to have the best time of my life there. Now let's see if that will bring good results or not. But I don't care anyway, because I don't care about the results.
The chat has one question for you. Did you get... Why didn't you participate in this $1 million buy-in tournament? Didn't you had the chance to...
No, it was before I sold all my Grunfeld courses. I didn't have the money yet.
Imagine you had few months to buy in, you would have made 2-3 courses and bought it.
Yeah. If I already had my Grunfeld course, probably the $1 million would be already earned. I would give them the $1 million. But no, before. No, but I also don't. I didn't even want like what your. I mean, weird stuff. I'm not. Honestly, I'm not into this gambling things. But also gambling using other people's money. It's weird. Like, I don't know. I mean, of course, you have some corporations and companies that are like so wealthy that they don't care, and that's a thing, of course, which is a very strange situation. Yeah, I know some corporations. They also like they just don't care about money because they have too much. Yeah, it's a strange situation we have in the world right now in general, in that sense. But yeah, I don't know. This is a funny tournament. You put 1 million. If you win first place, you get 2 million. Yeah, and then what? I don't know.
What?
Strange.
That's a lot of money.
No, what? Okay.
Then you buy a house. Then you buy a car.
What if you already have? You already have house. You have car. You made Grunfeld course. What else you need?
Yeah, that's true. Anish,
every man, should buy a house, a car, raise a son, and build the Grunfeld
Sons,
repertoire.
one daughter.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. No, there's a saying. There's some kind of saying about sun and tree or something. Like I don't know if it's maybe it's a Russian thing. I don't know, to build a tree and the sun or something. But yeah, it's no. I mean, nobody offered me to play for this 1 million challenge. I didn't understand that. It's remarkable. I'm curious to ask people who backed them. What is their thinking? What is their what are they trying to do? Hans found someone to back him for 1 million. Crazy, yeah. Like, what is his logic? What the person who
Excitement,
puts
sir.
that money?
There's something, this adrenaline rush which you get. It's not easy to create that in life.
Yeah, no, maybe yeah, it's gambling. It's pure gambling. It's like a casino. You want to watch the ball roll around and then
Exactly.
fall on.
Yeah.
But it's Hans, yeah. I mean, it's Hans. You've seen Hans. I mean, you want Hans to roll around the casino?
No,
I
he
think
will
ball is
play.
nicer.
He'll play. And by the way, he's preparing himself, yeah, for all this
Yeah.
by playing matches in August
Yeah,
and stuff. And
he even wrote me something, some match, something he wants, something. I said, okay.
so exactly. So he's already getting ready for that match with all the other matches before that. So
Yeah,
it'll be interesting.
testing the equipment. Yeah, like they say. Okay. It's expression. It's an figure of speech. Testing equipment like your weapons.
Yes. Okay. So Anish, well, good luck for Bucharest, and also we'll be waiting for some great games. And also, guys, do check this out. And if you have any questions for Anish, I think there's also this section, right? Once they buy, they can ask questions.
There is this Chessable forum. They bullied me into. I made some big Nidav update because I was reading all this forum again, and they're asking, when this you promise you will update this that. I mean, first of all, they bought course for $30 as if I have to now raise their whole family. Crazy. What are they thinking? I mean, now I owe them for life suddenly. They bought a $30 course. Oh, Grunfeld course only updated 10 lines over the last 3 years. What do you want? I mean, okay, completely bullied me in that forum. I said, okay, fine. I did them giant update today. Spent here 2 hours to do them some giant update.
Wow.
So now it's all updated there again. Crazy, yeah. These guys on Chessable, they are completely enthusiastic. They are ready to go through these big courses, and they're really ready for looking for more. Yeah, always very nice.
Amazing.
Very enthusiastic.
Amazing. Guys, do check it out. And Anish, thank you so much for doing this. It gives a primer for someone looking at Grunfeld, but also they get to know many different things like Trompowsky and all of that. So thank you.
Thank you, Sagar. It's been great stream, and best regards to chat. And Amrut also.